Right now we're on the border between Austria and Hungary. On the Austrian side, we're standing in Mérbisch and we're about to walk into Fertőrákos in Hungary. And behind me are the remains of the Mithras Temple.
It is a temple dedicated to Mithras, a god central to the Roman mystery religion of Mithraism, which is inspired by Mithra, the old Persian Zoroastrian divinity of covenant, light and oath, and thus is a judicial figure. In the temple, you can find two altars, which were constructed during the 3rd century AD and can be traced back to the people of Carnuntum. After a short walk along the cycling lane, the Iron Curtain Trail led us into the woods, and after about 45 minutes to an hour, we reached the famous Pan-European picnic.
So the site in which we're standing right now is known as the Pan-European picnic, which played a significant role back in the late 1980s and early 1990s to the fall of communism in Eastern Europe. And the monument behind me is dedicated to the freedom of Europe itself.
The Pan-European picnic was a peace demonstration on the Austrian-Hungarian border held in August of 1989 and is one of the milestones that led to the reunification of East and West Germany, as well as the end of the Iron Curtain. During that time, the borders between Austria and Hungary were briefly opened, which was used by hundreds of East Germans to flee to the west. 2 months prior to this, the Austrian and Hungarian foreign ministers Alois Mock and Gyula Horn had cut the border fence about 6 kilometers from the location of the Pan-European picnic, as a symbolic act to dismantle Hungary's border surveillance. In September of 1989, Hungary opened its gates to other Eastern Bloc states, which enabled especially citizens from East Germany to flee to West Germany via Hungary. Today, the site is a stark reminder of how much Europe has changed since the early 1990s. A short walk from Fertőrákos is the neighbouring town of Shopron Kohida, which, although is largely famous for its infamously large prison with an interesting history from the Second World War, the town also has a beautiful pond and a watchtower situated on a hill in the woods. Heading back to Fertőrákos along another hiking trail, we pass some beautiful woodlands before reaching the quaint little town again.
So one of the frontier villages that you'll find on the Hungarian side of the Austro-Hungarian border is the village of Fertőrákos, which is where we're exploring right now.
Along the main road of Fertőrákos, one will notice the local cultural architecture that is somewhat similar to what one may find on the other side of the Austro-Hungarian border. These are emblematic of the architecture of historical Burgenland that Fertőrákos was once part of during the Austro-Hungarian Union. Interestingly, Burgenland itself was historically Hungarian before it split between the two sides of the Austro-Hungarian border in the early 1920s. The town also has a number of interesting eateries offering local produce.
So the small border village of Fertőrákos has a dedicated fish restaurant which we highly recommend to anybody who comes over here to visit.
Kovac's Kochma offers fish caught in the local Neusiedl, as well as many other delicious food options. And for those families with small kids, they even have a children's corner. Another famous attraction of the town is the Quarry and Cave Theatre. The history of the quarry goes back to the Roman period, when it began being mined for its limestone, and today the nearby cave offers performances during the summer months. As Fertőrákos is situated right by the Neusiedl, a day trip to the area wouldn't quite be complete without seeing the lake from the local perspective. If you happen to have visited Fertőrákos from Mérbisch, it is only a 4-kilometer walk back over the Austrian border, where along the way you will get to see some nature and some beautiful views over Burgenland and the Neusiedl. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.